The Venom Clock, ranking the most venomous animals by how little time you get. Right now, somewhere on Earth, there is an animal smaller than your thumb carrying enough venom to ruin the afternoon of a few dozen grown adults. It is not angry. It is not hunting you. It would genuinely prefer that you put it down and walk away. Last time, we ranked animals by how much they hurt. Today, we're ranking them by something quieter and a lot scarier. The clock. The second the venom goes in, a timer starts, and two questions matter. How long until your body decides to clock out for the day, and how long you've got to reach the antidote before that happens. Some of these you can beat with a hospital and a calm head. Some of them, the timer is brutally short, and two of them, there is no antidote at all. Only time, and a friend who refuses to let go. Say hi to our guy. He volunteered. He has signed a contract. He has not at any point read the list. Quick ground rules, because people mix this up constantly. Venomous means it injects the bad stuff into you. A bite, a sting, a spine. Poisonous means you did something unwise to it, usually with a fork. Our guy is here for the first category, and the magic word for today is anti-venom, usually made by giving a tiny careful dose of venom to a horse, borrowing the antibodies it builds, and rushing them to you. The catch, it has to match the species, and it has to arrive in time, hence the clock. Let's climb. The Deathstalker scorpion. Terrifying name, genuinely. Its venom is a cocktail of nerve-scrambling toxins, and for a small child or someone already unwell, it's a real emergency. For a healthy adult, mostly a screaming bad few hours and a story you'll tell forever. Antivenom exists. The clock here is generous. Hours, not minutes. Our guy gets tagged, yelps, does a little dance, checks his watch, and realizes he has time for a sandwich first. We are off to a confident start. This will not last. Quick thing about how venomous, because the rankings hang on it. Scientists measure these toxins by how shockingly little it takes to matter. A droplet you could lose in a raindrop, doing the work of something 1,000 times its size. That's the whole horror of this list. Almost none of it is about the size of the animal. The teaspoon-sized ones are the ones that rewrite your afternoon. The Russell's viper. Here's the twist nobody expects. This is one of the animals that actually sends the most people to hospital on the whole planet. Not the rare exotic monster, the one in the field, near the village, stepped on by accident. Its venom goes after your blood, telling it to do everything at the wrong time. The clock is ours, and anti-venom works, but only if you stop being a hero and go. Our guy naturally decides to walk it off. The screen disagrees with him. The Stonefish. Our guy is waiting, sees a lump on the seabed, thinks rock, and steps. The lump had opinions and 13 needle-tipped spines. The pain arrives first and arrives loudly. The venom follows. Good news, antivenom exists, and very hot water breaks the toxin down while you wait. Bad news, our guy is in flip-flops, and his nearest kettle is a continent away. The clock ticks. His dignity does not survive. He does. The king cobra. Now we're getting serious. This one isn't about a tiny drop. It's about volume. A king cobra can deliver enough neurotoxin in one bite to put a very large animal to sleep permanently. It targets your nerves. The messages between brain and muscles start dropping out, starting with your eyelids and your breathing. The clock tightens to a couple of hours, and you do not want to spend them arguing with the snake about whose path this is. Antivenom exists. Calm exists. Our guy possesses neither. The saw-scaled viper. Small. Grumpy. Makes a dry rasping sound by rubbing its own scales together, which is the universal animal signal for I am 2 seconds from ruining your week. It's responsible for a staggering number of bites because it lives exactly where people walk. Blood toxin again, antivenom again, hours-long clock again. But every one of these you have time creatures is teaching the same lesson. Time only counts if you actually use it. The black mamba. Here the clock genuinely speeds up. Fast snake, fast venom, nerves going quiet within an hour or two if nobody intervenes. The old nickname is dramatic, and we're not allowed to say it, so let's call it the long nap noodle. Antivenom exists, and it works. Modern medicine has quietly turned a lot of these no-chance reputations into go to hospital immediately and you'll be telling the story at dinner. Our guy here's fast and tries to outrun it. The mamba is faster. The mamba is always faster. The inland taipan, and now relief. On paper, drop for drop, this is the most venomous land snake there is. The numbers are absurd. One bite carries, in theory, enough toxin for a frankly rude number of people. So why isn't it the boss of this whole video? Because it is shy, it lives in the empty middle of nowhere. It would rather be anywhere than near you, and there's effective antivenom. Bites are so rare that this ultimate snake has a quietly spotless record. Our guy walks up to the single most venomous land animal on Earth, and it just slides away, embarrassed for both of them. Sometimes the scariest thing on the list is the one most committed to avoiding you. There's a lesson in that, and it's free. The box jellyfish. The relief is over. This is where the clock stops being measured in hours. A large box jellyfish drifts like a plastic bag with intentions, trailing tentacles lined with millions of microscopic harpoons. Brush one in open water, and the venom can reach your heart in minutes. Minutes. There is anti-venom, and vinegar on the tentacles buys precious seconds, but the margin is now terrifyingly thin. The thing is nearly invisible, which is why beaches you'd swear were paradise have big yellow signs our guy is, of course, ignoring while examining a much smaller animal through a magnifying glass. And now the two that change the rules. Up to here, the clock had a finish line. Reach the antidote. Win. For these last two, take the antidote off the table entirely. The cone snail. It looks like a souvenir, a pretty shell you'd put on a windowsill. Inside is a creature that fires a venom-loaded harpoon faster than you can flinch, carrying a toxin blend so precise that scientists study it to build painkillers. There is no anti-venom. None. Treatment is doctors keeping your body running by hand while the venom slowly decides it's finished. The old fisherman's nickname, the one about how much time you supposedly have, is exaggerated, but the spirit is correct. This is not a clock you reset, it's a clock you sit through. Our guy picks one up for the shelf. We close his hand for him. The blue-ringed octopus. The finale, and it fits in a teaspoon. When it's calm, it's drab and forgettable. When it's frightened, it lights up with glowing blue rings, which is the single most beautiful please do not in the entire ocean. Its venom is the same family of toxin found in pufferfish, and a single small octopus carries enough to put a room full of grown adults flat on the sand. There is no anti-venom. Here's the cruel, fascinating part. It doesn't switch your body off. It switches off the controls. You can be fully awake, fully aware, while your muscles, including the ones you breathe with, simply stop taking calls. Survival comes down to one thing: a person beside you breathing for you, by hand, for hours, until the toxin wears off on its own and the controls flicker back. No serum, no vial, just time, and someone who refuses to let go. Our guy, of course, was using it as a hat. So here's the real ending, and it's the least flashy and the most true. He survived every single one of these, because the cartoon always does, and because for almost all of them, the answer was the same boring miracle. Stay calm, stay still, get help fast, and let modern medicine do the unbelievable thing it now does every day. Antivenom turned a list that used to be a one-way trip into a list of very bad afternoons. And the twist under the twist? Not one of these animals woke up wanting you. The scorpion wanted shade, the viper wanted the path, the octopus wanted to be left alone in its teaspoon of ocean. Every single bite on this list is, almost always, a creature saying "I asked you nicely" to a human who reached out anyway. The most venomous animals on Earth aren't the villains of the story. We just keep auditioning for the role. Next week, our guy makes a worse decision than all of these combined, and we genuinely tried to stop him. If you want to watch a cartoon man speedrun the entire animal kingdom's patience so you never have to, that button down there is bright red for a reason. Subscribe, ring the bell, and maybe, just maybe, don't pick up the pretty shell. Stay curious, keep your hands to yourself, we'll see you next time.